This is the SLP LoudMouth Axle-Back Exhaust system, and it's available for all 2005 to 2008 C6 Corvettes, excluding the Z06. Now, you guys should be checking out the LoudMouth if you want one of the loudest axle-backs available for your LS2 powered ride, along with a premium 304 grade stainless steel build and corresponding lifetime warranty, all for right around that $1,000 price point. All right, getting into the sound you can expect with the SLP, and well, this system definitely lives up to its name. The LoudMouth delivers a very aggressive tone, especially for an axle-back alone, so much so that I'm willing to go solid 4 out of 5 here on my 1 to 5 or 1 to wake the neighbor scale. Now, this is definitely the louder of the two LoudMouth systems, the other being the newer LoudMouth 2. And because of that, I would expect a little bit more interior noise here with the original LoudMouth system that we have on the table with us here today. Nothing outrageous per se, but C6 owners should know to expect a louder experience both inside and out with this system in place. But moving into construction and just a solid build from start to finish. This is an American-made system. It does boast that premium 304 grade stainless throughout, including the bullet-style resonators right here that allow for all of that sound thanks for the straight-through design. Now, this system is modular by nature. What I mean by that is if this thing ever gets a little too unruly for you, maybe you add some long tubes, a freer flowing mid-pipe, it gets a little too loud, well, you can always swap out these resonators with a bullet style muffler instead, help quiet things down a little bit, and that is a cool feature here with the LoudMouth. Now, you do get mandrel-bent tubing throughout here, including the 304 grade stainless that we mentioned earlier, and then finally everything is going to exit out of the quad 3.5-inch round tips in the factory location. Last but not least here, guys, the SLP LoudMouth does back their system with a lifetime warranty if you should ever run into any issues. Our price point for the LoudMouth system is going to land right around $1,000, give or take a little bit, which does put this in line with other similar 304 grade systems here on the site when we're looking at axle backs for the C6. All right, last but not least, let's talk about the install, and I'm happy to say that the LoudMouth is a 100% bolt-on job using some pretty basic tools around the garage.
Because of that, the site is going to stick around 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you at most 2 hours to complete from start to finish.
But now for a better idea of how this one might go down in the garage or driveway at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need various impacts, a ratchet, 13, 15, and 18 millimeter sockets, a hanger removal tool, a 13 millimeter ratcheting wrench, a 15 millimeter wrench, and also not shown here is a jack and jack stand. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing an exhaust on our Corvette, so let's get started. Alright guys, so we've got our car up in the air, and the first thing we need to do is disconnect our sway bar, and we're going to remove the bolt and nut from each side, mounting it to our subframe. So we've got our 18 millimeter socket on our impact. We're going to remove all these, and it's going to fall down, or drop down rather. That's going to give us enough room to get our muffler section out. Do the same thing on this side. Now you may need to grab a 15 mil wrench to the back side of these bottom bolts. If you have that disconnected, you can pull your sway bar back. It'll drop down out of the way. You don't need to remove these, obviously. Next, we need to remove the hardware for our rear hanger isolator brackets. Now you've got a 13 millimeter bolt holding each bracket on for each muffler. The outer ones you can reach with a ratchet and a socket. The inner ones, you're going to need a 13 millimeter ratcheting wrench. So we'll start with the outers and then get the inners on both sides. We're actually going to use our impact for this outer one. Again with our 13 millimeter socket. Remove that bolt. And for our inner one, our 13 mil ratchet wrench. And once you have this side out, you can do the same thing for the other side. Now we're gonna come back to our clamps at our slip joints on our H-pipe, and we're gonna use our 15mm socket to loosen these up. And your muffler should fall down a good bit. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to take our muffler assembly and work it out of our slip joint. It is a pretty tight fit in here. May have to move this around a bit. Once you've got that out, you want to bring this straight down and out. Now once you got your first side on, you can repeat the same process for the other side. Alright guys, now that we have our stock mufflers off, we're going to need to grab the stock hangers and isolators because we're going to be reusing them for our new setups. So we've got our hanger removal tool. We're going to pop those off. Get these off of the factory hanger rods. And once you have your first two off, you can do the same thing for your other muffler assembly. All right, so now that we have our factory system off, we can begin assembling and installing our new setup. Now we've got our over axle pipes. We're gonna be working on the passenger side, so we've got the appropriate one that is labeled for that side. The longer straight section is where your muffler itself is gonna go onto. So what we're gonna do is grab one of our provided clamps, get that onto our over axle section. Then we're going to take our muffler, slip that on, make sure that's fully seated, and we're going to get our clamp in place. Now this is a straight section with a straight muffler, so the orientation isn't going to affect anything. And what we're going to do is take our 15mm socket on our impact and tighten this clamp down. You want to hold this at the edge of your slip joint while doing this. Next, we're going to send our over axle and muffler assembly right through where our factory one came out. Get that over the transmission. You have to work this around a little bit. Get it through. We're going to line this up with our slip joint on our H-pipe. Now we've got our over axle section lined up with our slip joint, so we'll get this straightened out and into our slip joint itself. Next, we're going to install our provided hanger brackets with our factory 13mm bolts into the factory locations. We're going to leave them loose for now. Next, we're going to grab our factory isolators off of our hanger brackets. They just simply pull right off. Then we're going to install those onto our new hanger section, just like so. And you can put a little bit of lubricant on these to make it slide on a little bit easier, just like that. Then we're going to take our provided clamp, get that over our slip joint. This is going to be for our outlet / hanger piece. And again, these are labeled for each side. And we'll get this up onto our muffler and onto our hanger brackets. Now we'll get this on. You want to get it past your diffuser. What we're going to do is get this up into position. You may have to adjust your over axle a little bit to get this on. You're going to slide right on to your hanger brackets. We're still going to leave this loose for just another moment. Now we're going to grab our tip assembly and our provided clamp. Get this on. Just going to get this loosely in position. And with our 15mm socket, we'll snug our clamp down for our tip. We're gonna line it up pretty much flush with the bottom of our bumper. And these are gonna move around a little bit while we're tightening them. Gonna get them in the general area. So now we're gonna get our height set for our outlets and tips. Now we already have the other side on, so we're gonna match that side. Basically, however you set the first side is where you wanna match your other side. So we're gonna push up on this and tighten down our brackets with our 13 mil socket. So now once we're pretty much set where we want to be, we're going to tighten down our other clamp for our hanger section. So again, with our 15 mil socket, we're going to tighten that down. Then we'll fully tighten down our clamp on our tips. Then lastly, we'll come back and tighten down our factory clamp on our H-pipe, again with our 15 mil socket. Now once you got your first side on, you can repeat the same process for the other side. Now once you got everything in place, you want to remember to reinstall your sway bar. So we'll get this back into position and reinstall our factory hardware. We'll tighten these back down with our 18 millimeter socket on our impact and a 15 mil wrench for the bottom bolts. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our SLP LoudMouth Axle-Back Exhaust for your 05 to 08 Corvette C6 excluding the Z06. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Corvette, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.